This is Rev Michelle Hopkins.
My guest, Reverend Michelle Hopkins, is an ordained minister, independent, non-denominational, who retired due to a disability. She was a music evangelist by trade. She attended Cumberland College, now known as the University of the Cumberlands, and followed her college education with Bible Institute. Her expertise and informative knowledge stem from her associations with certain ranking military personnel and scientists who are the world's foremost authorities in their field. Her YouTube channel is youtube.com/RevMichelleHopkins. I want to welcome for the first time to Floor of Wisdom Radio, Reverend Michelle Hopkins.
Thank you so much, Sean. What a blessing to be here with Floor of Wisdom.
I was born to Reverend and Mrs. Donald A. Winhold. You might remember Reverend Winhold, who was posthumously honored in the House of Representatives by the Honorable Congressman Bart Gordon in June of 2004. My father was remembered for his service in the Navy aboard the Laitee and the USS Bennington, and for his life service as a minister of the gospel, as a matter of U.S. history in the Congressional Record for all time. On 16 October 1953, at 15:15, while still under conversion to an anti-submarine carrier, Laitee suffered an explosion in her port catapult machinery room. Within minutes, Naval Base and city fire trucks were on the scene. After a hard and gallant fight, the fire was extinguished at 19:57. As a result of the fire, 37 men died and 28 were injured. My father, Donald Allen Winhold, was stationed in that port catapult machinery room. He just happened to pull the short straw that afternoon and was sent across the deck to get the coffee for the rest of the crew in his area when the explosion took place. He ran back across the deck and was seriously injured trying to help his fellow crewmen out of that horrific fire. He suffered nightmares of that explosion and the devastating fire in its aftermath until his death in 2004. My father's life was changed that day, and he dedicated his life to the ministry.
Reverend Michelle, let me ask you about your sources. I know that we discussed this off the air. You can't name names and where specifically they're from, but how did you develop this relationship? Can you at least describe, the type of sources that you have and their background, if you can?
Well, yes, I can, somewhat. First of all, after 9/11, I became an active military and civic supporter. And when I did that, I became connected in a network of numerous different members of the military. And I was, I had quite a few accolades because of that. I was able to meet some really, really wonderful people and correspond with some amazing people who were fairly high up in command. And so that's where my military came in. And then when I moved to the area that I'm in now, I met with people who were in fields of science that really are the world's foremost authority in their fields. When the government and DOD want answers, these people are who they come to.
And so, all right, let's fast forward now. Let's talk about when you first started to get inside information about the HAARP rings, the Tesla Tech rays, and how chemtrails and HAARP and all of that is tied together. When did all of that come to fruition for you?
Well, I came on to YouTube in 2011. I started watching videos, and one of the videos was about this material that nobody was really quite sure what it was. It looked like spider webs, but it was almost alive. And, I looked and searched and thought, surely I can help this person try to figure out what this is. I love a good mystery. And I looked around on the internet, and it looked to me like it was a certain kind of seed pod. I went back to the person, and I said, this is probably what it is. Maybe that will help you. And he already knew about chemtrails. He was very, very congenial toward me, very gracious. And he said thank you. And I began to see more videos about chemtrails. And I realized, oh my goodness, this is chemtrail fallout. So I could not believe, I couldn't get my mind around what I was learning about chemtrails, and surely this can't be true. Surely this is just conspiracy. How could this possibly be true? Why would our government want to kill us all? So I went back to my best friend, who is one of the foremost authorities in his field, and came to learn that he actually worked in that field with chemtrail. And when the DOD had questions for them, they had their department work on the chemtrail. And he discussed some things with me that were not only eye-opening, but gut-wrenching.
What was it that raised your, raised the flag for you?
Well, first of all, he said, yes, Michelle, this is true. This really is happening. We really are chemtrailing, and yes, we call it chemtrails. But we worked on these chemtrails way back in the day when they were just one or two ingredients in them, and we called them biological warfare.
Biological warfare. Wow. My guest, Rev Michelle Hopkins.
This is Rev Michelle Hopkins. Thank you for watching, and God bless you.